Yes, people, welcome back to Albert JTV. Weekly Surgery, episode 16, I believe. I've got that right. Hashtag solo stream. But before we get into it, people, let's smash the intro. Yes, people, welcome back again to Albert JTV. Monday night, late evening at the Albert JTV household. Weekly Surgery, people. This will be my first solo stream. But as I say to people, smash the like button, obliterate the like button, caress the like button if you wish to, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. On the road to 1K, as I stand right now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I'm 23 subs from 1K. Wow, YouTube. What a journey, eh? People, Instagram family, thank you for your loyal support. And audio listeners, as I always like to say, this will go on my Spotify and Anchor, and you can hear my Southeast London tones. I thought I'd change it up this week, but people, let's get into it, man. Weekly surgery, not been a long one because I just got in from work, man. Cream crackers, man. Busy. Hope everybody enjoyed their Jubilee celebrations, Jubilee cake, drinking lots of cordial, the little bit of alcohol. But listen, I had some time off work and it's much needed. Need to refresh sometimes and recharge. But back to work today, people. As I say, man, let's get into it, man. Weekly surgery topics to talk about, people. Of course, it'd be remiss of me not to talk about the beloved Arsenal. And of course, people, we are going to talk about this young man, if I can find him. Where's he on the screen? William Saliba, or Saliba, as some people like to say. Yes, as you probably saw, I think this was trending either yesterday or Saturday. I can't remember now. William Saliba confirming that he's coming back to the red carpet. And you know what? It was good to see because there's been too much to in and fro in. There's actually probably not been enough said in regards to what was going to happen with this guy, because the way I look at it is we signed him in 2019, I believe on a 5-year deal, right? He hasn't been here for 3 years, not played a competitive game if you don't include the friendly against Milton Keynes Dons. He would have been within his rights, right, to come back to Arsenal within the last 2 years of his contract, I think, or 2 years to go, should I say, and say, you know what, Arsenal's a football club, is not really kind of put the feeders out there in terms of like my future. You know, we see him as an integral part of the future. It depends what media outlet you believe, to be honest with you, in terms of reports and what journos or what you take as gospel. But I mean, if I was him, we could have been in a situation, right, where he comes back to Arsenal and says, you know what? I've hardly played any first team football for this club. I don't really get the impression from the manager that he sees me as an integral part. I'm going to come back to Arsenal. I'm going to play for a season, run down the contract some more. If he'd have come back and done that, honestly, I wouldn't have been shocked, because that's a situation that could have easily have happened, and it would have compounded more misery to us as Arsenal fans, where we've been in too many similar situations where players are running down their contracts. I mean, we're paying players off to leave. I mean, that's crazy. So that could have happened, man. But I think, listen, universally, I was glad to see that trending for once. Something trending about Arsenal in a positive way. If you see if I can find his quotes, actually, people, bear with me. Yes, there he says, I belong to Arsenal. I still have 2 years left. I'll be back with Arsenal. I have played 0 matches and I still want to show them my true face and have the chance to play for these fans and this great club. He was probably look, listen, I'm no expert, but he was probably thinking, right, that surely the club that assigned me 3 years ago are going to put the feeders out or put something out to say, listen, let's quash the rumors. He's gone out on loan to Marseille. We see him as an integral part of our plans. Unless I've been sleeping for the last 2-3 years, I've not heard Arsenal come out and say that too many times about William Saliba. And he's probably thinking from a point of view, like, I don't really hear anything from the club to say, like, you know what, I'm like an integral part of, the plans or coming back to Arsenal, being a key asset to the team. He's probably thinking, I'm not really hearing that. But I'm glad he came out and said what he said. It puts a lot of the nonsense to rest. And I got to be honest, man. I thought it was touch and go. Oh, my green screen's playing up. It looks like I'm disintegrated, but what can you do, man? But no, it just I was a bit unsure. If I've got to be honest, I've got to be totally honest. I was really, really unsure whether he would come back. But you know what? That's been put to bed now. Thank God, man. What can you say? Saliba's coming back to Arsenal. You know what? What we need is we need squad depth. We need squad depth. We need we can't be going forward into next season relying on Ben White and Gabriel and also Rob Holding. Let me go to the comments quickly. Yes, Keith, you can just about to see me, man. My green screen decided to play up, man. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. What can I say? Big up to you. Big up to RJ in the chat. RJ, we need to link up very, very soon, man. Hopefully you guys can still see me. My green screen is disintegrating in front of my eyes. What's going on, man? Oh, typical. Let's just soldier on anyway. I'll try and correct it so you can see me actually properly while I'm doing it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Saliba play, man, to be honest with you. What's RJ saying? I know it was, bruv, I tested it before I did it, man. It was fine. Like, got the right fade and, make sure it was in properly. But boy, I don't know what happened, man. And the man can't even go to a commercial break because the man's not really doing that well in YouTube to be doing them kind of things. But oh, never mind, man. What can we do? But no, yeah, like it's listen, I don't know. I watched a bit of Saliba play sort of the first part of the season in Liga, and I was impressed with what I saw. He looked very composed, very good on the ball, obviously very elegant. But you know what you want your defenders doing? First and foremost, defend. But yeah, little other quotes as he come out and said, let's go to what he said, Mr. Saliba. We'll go back to screen again. He talks about his time at Marseille. I've just taken some quick quotes. So let's see what he said. My year at Marseille was great. Helping the club get Champions League football is what they deserve. And I will treasure my time here. That being said, I'm also excited to go back to Arsenal. Hopefully for many more years. I think us as Arsenal fans were kind of waiting to hear that kind of language, really. I mean, like I said, it could have easily had gone the other way in regards to him saying not throwing his toys out the pram, but looking at it thinking, you know what, I've been at the club 3 years and I've not played for him. I've gone out on loan. I've enjoyed it at Marseille. They've helped them helped them get Champions League football. And yeah, like it's so I could have understood if he had that attitude, to be totally honest with you. Hopefully you guys see me a bit better now. No, not much better. What a shame, man. Bloody green screen. But you know what it is? The one key thing I've noticed, right? It's better to have a darker background. So that's why. But I'll learn my lesson for next time, man. But yeah, listen, Saliba done. He done from. Listen, there's people that I know who've been keeping an eye on him religiously, to see what he's been doing. And if I can find the stats, people, I will get them up on screen now. So yeah, this is his stats for last seasons in La Liga. Most ever passes apparently in La Liga history. 260 possessions won, the most. 558 progressive carries, 31 successful dribbles, and of course, not just a call up to the French squad, but League and Young Player of the Year. Now, this is the thing. Now, people, I don't know what it is. I don't know what you guys think in the chat, or people are going to watch this back on the rerun, but it's almost like, because it's not the Premier League, there's that instant dismissal that you can't really judge somebody maybe as a good footballer, or you question their season because they're not played in England. Like, I think that's a little bit unfair, because whether you play in Liga, Eredivisie, the Championship here in England, Serie A, if you've had a good season and you've played well, and you know, with those stats there, as you can see on the screen, that's not a fluke. This guy came with good billing. I could understand even, right, if we had bought him from, I don't know, the fifth tier of English football, but he was actually playing men's football. That's the thing. He was playing men's football. So it's just a shame. He had a couple of injuries when he was at Saint Etienne, which probably didn't help, to be fair. But you know what? He, like I said, there's been a lot of talk about this guy, and like I said, for people that have gone on to actually watch him, they've been very, very impressed with him. And you know, I know stats are not everything, but you know, you can't totally bypass them and ignore them. Let me go to some of the comments. RJ, I'm happy to see him come back. I just want to see him challenge both Gabs and Ben. Yeah, that's what it is, man. NS Sports TV, big up to you, man. Cheers, bro. That's the thing, man. And it's you know what's mad? So Saliba comes back, right? So we have Saliba, Ben White, Gabriel, and we've got Rob Holding. I'm surprised Rob Holding's out seeing some of the centre backs at the club, you know. That's left Arsenal, I'll be honest with you. For those that probably don't know already, I'm not the biggest Rob Holding fan, if I'm being totally truthful. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, man, looking forward to seeing him play. I think if you ask most Arsenal fans now, and probably in a few weeks or before the start of this new season, who you're looking forward to seeing play the most at Arsenal would be him. And I agree. I totally agree. Do you think we need another centre back for experience? You know what? It's a strange one, because we've got the young boys at Rekic. I don't think he's. It depends how his development's gone. It depends if they feel he's ready to step up. But if that's the case, I think they're going to rely on Rob Holding. I think, you know what, it's hard to say, because RJ, because I want to see what activity happens for Arsenal in this window before the start of the season. And I think if you ask me that question again, then I can probably give you a better answer. Really, no, let me sort out this green screen, people. Apologies, man. Good thing when I put this on the audio, it won't make a difference. All right, let's see if this makes it a little bit better. It probably won't, but never mind. Tiny bit. But that's a lot better, actually. Flipping hell. People, I'm back, man. I'm not Mr. Invisible Man. That's a lot better. Look at that. Can you see me now, people, now? And I've just seen my Tottenham wife is in the chat. Jesus to Arsenal. This Holly, I know you're obviously my Tottenham wife, Holly. I love you, but I hate you at the same time as well. But that's all right. RJ, no, it's amazing when you shut the curtains. It's still a bit of interference, but it's a bit better. It's a bit better. Now, you know what? The Jesus links, I said this even before the end of the season, when Arsenal was still going for sort of a top 4 push. Well, that's got even worse now, man. What's going on, man? I think I need to get my receipt and find out what's going on with this green screen, man. No, mate. What's happening? But no, I said that I think realistically with Arsenal, I would expect to see 4 signings come in. 4. I'd expect to see 4 come in. And I think that's realistic because then you can, depending on what Arsenal are doing come January, you can reevaluate that. So if you're bringing a couple of people and learn from the mistakes from last season by getting getting some people in on loan to help the depth of the squad and the quality of the squad, and not just rely on what we've already got, then I can sort of reassess it a bit better. But what's going on with this thing, man? This is driving me mad, people. Apologies, man. It's annoying. You check these things, they don't even work. But no, I said Arsenal, realistically, I expect to see 4 signings come in this season. 4. I think it's changed a bit now, in answer to Holly's question, because where we signed Eddie on a 5-year deal, I think I can't see Arsenal going and buying 2 strikers. I can't see that happening now. I cannot see it happening. I cannot see that happening at all. I can't. I generally can't. RJ, is that better? No, not really. It's not better at all, is it? But no, I think us signing Eddie, I think that has scuppered us buying 2 strikers. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen at all, actually. So if they bring in Jesus, I'm pleased if they bring in Jesus, if we get it done. But my issue is I would have wanted us to bring in an ideal world. This is what I said. I would like Arsenal to bring in Jesus and also Tammy Abraham. That's my own personal opinion. But I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately, people. What are we? 16 minutes in. This is going to be a short one, people, because I need to eat, man. But I wanted to do my weekly surgery, man. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat. What's Ryan saying? We need to sign Green. We do. You know what it is? It's mad because the lighting was fine, man. Like I tested it before I got in. Fine, no problem. Then just kaput. Mad. I don't understand RJ, bro. These man are conning, man. I need to keep my receipt. I still got it anyway. But people, yeah, man. Saliba, in a nutshell, it's been quashed now. He's come out and said he's coming back to Arsenal. Happy days. I hope he has a fantastic season and looking forward to seeing him play. Yeah, people, a bit of a gear change now. Bit of a gear change. I'm going to talk about the England team. A recent 1-0 defeat to Hungary. I think the game was on, I forgot what day the game was on now. Was it Saturday? Yes. Against Hungary. Not a great game. I actually thought the Hungarians played all right, to be fair. As for England, it's, you know what? It's a tough one, man, because I would say, I mean, I'm old enough to remember, as I like to say, 21 plus VAT. I'm old enough to remember some fantastic England squads, 1990. You know, the golden generation apparently in 02 to probably 06. Euro 96. But I've got to say, the group the group of England players assembled in the last couple of years and probably going forward into the next couple of years again, as the England are loaded with quality, absolutely loaded with quality. But sort of going back to the game before I sort of talk about England generally. Let me go. Where's the team gone? I'm going to find the team. Let me find the team he picked. Gareth Southgate. I think I've got this right. Let me see. So yeah, this is the team that started against Hungary in the Nations League. So Pickford in goal. 3 centre backs again. 3 at the back. What a surprise. Alexander Arnold and James Justin as wing backs. Bellingham Rice in the 2 in the midfield. And Jared Bowen gets his debut along with obviously James Justin. Harry Kane down the middle and Mason Mount on the left. I think I've seen a lot of criticism of Gareth Southgate in quite a few years, actually, in quite a number of years. And it's tough because you look at a manager who's got England to their first semi-final of a World Cup since 1990. He then gets England to their first major final in, was it 55 years, was it? Something like that? Or how many years it was? So in isolation, you think that's a big achievement, and it is. However, going back to the game sort against Hungary, we're too defensive, man. To cut through the red tape, to cut through the BS, to cut through all the dialogue for endless dialogue. We're too defensive, and I don't really understand why we're so defensive with so much talent in the squad in a multitude of different positions. I just don't understand it, to be honest with you. I don't. I don't. Like, listen, I've actually thought Jarrod Bowen did all right. His debut. I would never play Mason Mount at the front of in the front three. And that's no disrespect to him. I just wouldn't. That's to me. I look at that England team, for example. Alexander Arnold out of position. James Justin out of position. Carl Walker, let's be honest. Yes, he's played in the free for England in the last World Cup. Out of position. I don't think Bowen even plays in that position for West Ham. Actually, I know he doesn't play in that position. And Mount, wow, the motorbikes went past you if you heard that. Yeah, and Mason Mount, that seems to be Gareth Southgate's. He's very tried and trusted with certain players in the team, and that's pretty apparent to me. That's not a bad thing, but it is when you have other players that can probably play better in other positions in the team, particularly if you're going to be playing with 3 centre backs as well. So it does drive you mad. I see why people get very, 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 very frustrated with Gareth Southgate. Very frustrated. What can you do, man? He just doesn't help himself. He doesn't. I've got to be honest though. Listen, I know England didn't play fantastically well. I mean, there's a half chance with Harry Kane hit that thunderbolt shot in the second half, but I said it at the time in my group chat with some of the boys I'm with. That goal that got given for the penalty, I'm sorry, but the referee must have been on the take. Seriously, man, because even in real time, I didn't think it was a penalty. Even actually, to be honest, in real time, I wasn't even thinking that a penalty didn't even come into my mind. When I saw the replay, it still wasn't a penalty. So I couldn't understand how he was so quick to give it. It's crazy. And the thing is, even if it had gone to VAR, they still would have given it because his initial decision, unless it was a clear, which I thought it was clear and obvious anyway. But I mean, football's a contact sport. You've got to have some contact. Flipping hell, man. Let me go to the chat quickly again. Here we go. RJ, what you saying? I know he was a centre back, but come on, Gareth. He's too safe. Gareth Safegate. Big up Bowen. Yeah, I thought Bowen did all right. I thought James Justin did all right until we had to come off. Holly, you're so funny. But yeah, it's like, I'll give you an example, right? I'm gonna go to it now. I'll go to the possession stats first. Again, Saka, another player, came on Saturday, played at wing back. I just thought, to play so many players out of position, it actually does beg a belief, if I'm being honest. It does beg a belief. So yeah, these were the stats here. So for the game quickly. I mean, if I watched that game, I wouldn't have thought England had 50. I thought the reason why, me personally, I think they had 58% possession more so because Hungary were kind of sitting on the counter and waiting to counter-attack England. 12 shots. I'll be honest with you. I'm when I saw that in the stats, I was like, I must have been watching a different game. I don't remember England having 12 shots. I generally, honestly don't. 4 on target, 6 corners, 6 fouls. Hungary, 42% possession, 11 shots, 6 on target, 3 corners and 7 fouls. So yeah, like I said, I felt like I was watching a different game because I saw England had 12 shots. God, they must have gone into row Z because I don't remember seeing them. Really don't remember seeing them. But let me go back to chat. Let me go back to chat again. I'm gonna come to that. Yeah, I'm gonna come to that. Give me 2 moments. Now, guys, I'm gonna show you something. Now, I kind of just had a bit of a not a brainwave, but I want to get the England team up, right? That played Germany in a round of 16 in the Euros. Let me see if I can find it, right? This was the team that played against Germany, right? Pickford in goal, again, 3 at the back. Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, Rice, Phillips, Trippier, Saka, Kane, and Sterling. Don't get me wrong. Listen, you can never write off the Germans. I get it. I understand that. You're playing. Listen, with the plethora of talent England have got, right? And I can touch on what as RJ and for the guys who remember the Euro final in particular. Maguire, Stones, Walker, Trippier, Shaw. That's already 5 defenders. Then you've got a double pivot of 2 defensive-minded. Well, I think Rice is a bit more, but you know what I mean. So you've got 7 defensive-minded. Let's be honest. Let's just say 7 defenders. 7. And then between that, you've got Kane, the main man up front, with Sterling and Saka providing the width. That's too defensive. And bear in mind, right? Grealish was on the bench. I can't remember. I think Foden was on the bench because I know he missed the final for injury. But why are you so defensive with the players you've got? I could understand this, right? I don't know if you guys remember. Greece won Euro 2004, right? They was listen. There's some players that could play. Don't get me wrong. They won the tournament, but they didn't have, for example, the quality that this England squad have got. So you could understand them being set up a bit more defensively, and they was very structured. And they beat, they beat Portugal twice. They beat France. They beat also, I think they beat Czech Republic as well, if I remember correctly. But they were set up so brilliantly defensively, and had a German coach at the time. Was it Otto Rehagel? I think it was for Greece, because they didn't necessarily have the talent pool to play teams off the pitch. England have got that. That's the difference. And yet they're set up in a way that we haven't got talented players. It's mad to me. Like, I know we won the game, but I just think, come on, Gareth, man. Like, you're killing this team, man. Seriously. What's Keith? Let's go to the chat quickly. Let me not keep. We're 27 minutes in. Here we go. RJ, what are you saying, mate? He doesn't know what he's doing, man. This is our most talented squad in years, but yet the manager just ain't brave enough. Safegate is an odd one. His tournament record is great, but just think with the talent at his disposal, we could do so much more. Yeah, exactly, Keith. I just don't get it. Yeah, here we go. Right, it's clearly, yeah, and that final, when it comes to the final in the Euros, that wound me up. When I think about it, 'cause I just think England went 1-0 up after 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Dream start. You got people talking about, I think England scored too early. What are you on about? It's a final. England go 1 at dream start. Gets a decent side in Italy. Good side. I think I heard this right. England didn't have a shot on target for the whole of the rest of the 90 minutes and in extra time. We brought on Grealish in the 96th minute. Saka came on. Saka didn't start the game. I thought that was a mistake, and that's not me being biased. I thought Saka should have started. If he's having a mare or he's not playing well, you bring him off. But to me, you start him. Like I said, Grealish don't come on to the 96th minute. Sancho doesn't get a kick during the tournament, but I'm not sure in terms of his form how great he was. But to not have a shot on target after the initial goal from Luke Shaw for the rest of the final, it's to me, it's unforgivable. Home tournament at Wembley, sit back, and it was painful to watch. Me and RJ and obviously Souls at the time did the watch along, and it was a tough watch, man, because it reminded me of the England sides in the sort of years of other tournament football, years gone by, where we're hitting route one. We're kind of get the ball as quickly as forward as possible, and you're completely bypassing your midfield. And when obviously Italy got the equaliser, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise at all. It was coming. If the thing is, if you're just a little bit more braver, who knows what could happen with this England squad? Because the thing is, where they've got to a semi-final of the World Cup, and actually, I'd go as far to say they should have made that final of the World Cup. They should have, and that's no disrespect to Croatia. England should have made that final at least. Whatever happens against France, listen, is another story in it. But They should have made that final in 2018, in my opinion. But that final, I look at it and I think to myself, England might never get in a position like that again. That's the thing. We've had to wait 55 years to see them in the final. There's no guarantee that England are going to get to a final again. But if he doesn't get close in Qatar, for me, he should be moved on. Because you set the bar now. You've got a talented squad there. You have defensively, fullback wise, centre midfield, up front. You've got a plethora of talent, but you're not utilizing it. And to me, I'm sorry, that Euro 2020 final, or when we had it a year later, you know what I mean? But that was a missed opportunity, massively missed opportunity that shouldn't even have gone to penalties. But yeah, it was. It's mad. Right, let's go to the chat. You guys are keeping me lively, man. Much love, man. RJ, honestly, when I heard people say that, I said to myself, let me sit back and think to myself, let me try and understand where they're coming from, why they would turn around and say that. And actually doesn't make any sense. Like, you had the perfect start in the final. Italy were rocked, get the second goal, take the initiative, take the game away from them, open them up. Didn't do it. Missed opportunity. Played into their hands, absolutely. Yeah, it's cause at least, or he's gone. But I was if I was charged, I would remove him. You know the funny thing with the Southgate thing, right? I remember fans ringing in. I remember it so clearly on BBC 5 Live, and I think this was the day after the semi-final, or it might have been after the third and fourth place playoff against Belgium. There's England fans then that wanted him gone. I'm being deadly serious. England just got to the semi-final of the World Cup for the first time since 1990, and there's fans that wanted him gone. So, RJ, what you say? Listen, there's a lot of fans that feel like it. For me, with this England squad, and I'm going to put it out there, he needs to make the final. But my issue is, if we find ourselves in the same position again in a final, not necessarily going 1-0 up, but is he brave enough to learn from his mistakes? And I said at the time, when England played Italy in the Euro final, I looked at someone like Jack Grealish, for example. I don't know what you guys think in the chat. I said to myself, if you can't bring on Jack Grealish for a longer periods in the tournament, in the quarters, in around the 16, in the semi, in the final, if he can't play in the final, when's he going to feature? When is he going to be an integral part in England team for you? And what I tell you what else wound me up about the final, just to finish on it. Gareth Southgate knew that he didn't have Phil Foden because he was injured. You knew that. So, but you still got quality in order to hurt Italy. You still didn't use it. It's madness. It's madness. It sounds harsh to kind of say that about a guy who got England to their first final 55 years, but when I kind of look at it and scratch through the surface, I'm like, that was a missed opportunity, man. Massively missed opportunity for England. But people in the chat, drop many questions in if you've got any. Yeah, England were on a decent run, actually. I think the defeat to Hungary, they I don't think, other than the Euro final defeat to Italy on penalties, they actually hadn't lost since Belgium beat them. I think Belgium beat them in November 2020. So there's on a good run, England, but yeah, that game was a bit. It was an absolute whimper. It absolutely was, absolute whimper. But what can you do, man? I'm trying to sort out my fade as we speak. It's not going very, very well. Let me see if I can change it. It's mad. It's not working, people. It's not working. I've come back. I say it's a bit better. Let me come back to the screen. Oh, there you go. You can see my cheekbones at least. But people, yeah, man. One more thing before we wrap up, people, because I need to go and eat. I'm starving. But big up to people in the chat. Thank you to people watching this on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And like I say, smash the like button if you haven't already, man. And drop you some comments in below. But let's say a massive congratulations to Wales. Wales will be going to the World Cup for the first time in 64 years. Last appearance was in 1958 World Cup. That is a long time. And obviously they'll be they'll be playing England at the World Cup in Qatar, which should be a mouth-watering game. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you guys in the chat or anybody watched that game against Ukraine. I thought it was a brilliant game to watch. I thought Ukraine actually I thought they played well. I thought it was very unlucky to go 1-0 down, to be honest with you. They kept the ball very, very well. And I thought Wales found it difficult to get a sort of an imprint on the game. But one thing Wales did do, with also from some fantastic goalkeeping from Wayne Hennessy, is they stayed in the game. They stayed in the game. There's some unbelievable defending, great defending. Gareth Bale will go to a World Cup. Aaron Ramsey. They've got some good players in their worlds. You know what? Fair play to Robert Page as well, man. Special mention to him because obviously he took over the job at Wales under some not great circumstances. Obviously, Ryan Giggs being the coach, and there's obviously off the field things were happening. So Robert Page took over. He took Wales to the Euros, and obviously he's now taken them to the World Cup, and he deserves huge credit. So yeah, let me go to the chat quickly. Here we go. Thing is, we could have won 2 tournaments with better management and tactics. Yet, please, for the love of God, just play attacking football because our attacking players are better as their jobs than the defenders. And the thing is, Keith, like when I brought up the team lineup from Sunday, Trent Alexander out of position, James Justin out of position, Kyle Walker out of position, Jared Burrow out of position, Saka comes on out of position. Why are you playing players out of position? And I think, and to add to that, I think with Southgate, I don't know what you guys think. I think he's already made up his mind in terms of there's certain players he's just not going to budge. So whether you like them or not, Walker, Maguire's had an awful season last season. Yeah, he still picks him. Pickford, not so much Pickford now, but there was periods, last season and I think the season before where his form has been a bit questionable for Everton, but for England, Southgate picks him. Or I also think who's the other player? I think he's Mason Mount. If people expect him not to pick these players in a starting 11, don't get upset now. Don't get upset because I think he'll do it. I think he's very headstrong in that way, Southgate, that with these guys, he will always pick them. Always pick them, irrespective of their club form. And he's shown that with Pickford and particularly with Harry Maguire. So, oh man, what can I say? So yeah, it was a great game. I want Ukraine to win because I'm sentiment FC, mate. You know what? They was unlucky. Like I said, Wayne Hennessy must have been man of the match for Wales because he was excellent in goal. He made some fantastic saves, and it's a shame the own goal from Yarmolenko, I believe it was. But listen, I saw the end bit. It's quite emotional actually. With the Ukraine players went to their supporters, and big up to the Wales fans as well. They gave them a huge round of applause at the end of the game. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But people. See, look, my screen's all right now. What's going on, man? This is mad. Don't understand what's going on, mate. Crazy. Got the best part to the end. But people, yeah, great. Yeah, he must have got man in the match queue because he was excellent. People, weekly surgery, episode 16, has come to an end. 39 minutes in and counting. Big up to the people in the chat. Apologies again, people, for the visuals. I will look into it again. To sort out what the bloody hell's going on. But yeah, big up to you people in the chat, man. Thank you, man, for your interaction as always. I'll put this on my audio later. And yeah, go and follow me on my audio as well, people, as well as subscribing to the channel. So yeah, people, that's me, Albert JTV, over and out. I will have another episode in terms of chat content coming out. There should be another episode of live stories coming out very, very soon. Very excited to get my 2 guests who agreed to come on. Fingers crossed, as long as nothing happens. But yes, that will be a very, very interesting episode indeed. Actually, you know what? I just realized, right? I'm on episode. It will be episode 16 of Life Stories. I think weekly surgery is episode 12 or 13. So I've got my numbers wrong. I'm all over the place, man. I need to eat. That's you can tell. My people, big up to you in the chat, man. Much respect, man. Give your virtual waves goodbye and send your virtual hugs if you want to as well. But yeah, that is me, Albert JTV, over and out. Hashtag weekly surgery. As you can see with the socials, there's guys along the bottom of the screen. Let me put them on along the bottom of the screen again. My Instagram and my Twitter, and you've got it either side of me, top left, top right. So go and follow people. But yes, people, weekly surgery is over and out. Monday night. See you soon, people. Take care.